Please enjoy this feature presentation of the Crooked River Radio Network. This program is rated for all audiences.
4 guys on sports. 4 guys on sports. 4 guys on sports starts now.
Yeah, doesn't it though?
Amen.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Morning.
Is it? I don't know, Shawn. You look like you're a little bit asleep yet.
No.
Pat, you hadn't taught that boy no manners. Come around here eating, they ain't offering nobody no food, man.
Yeah, I know.
Offering you peace. Offering my bite. You want a bagel?
Well,
Yeah, man. Pass it on over here.
he's a growing boy, Nate.
I gotta be able to eat something.
Yeah, I got my cup of coffee right here.
Yeah, touche.
I'm surprised you guys get up this morning. I know y'all stayed up watching the draft, man.
Yeah.
I was like,
I'll tell you what.
I was toggling back and forth between the draft and playoffs.
Yeah.
I watched the first 5 rounds, or the 5 or 6 picks yesterday, or Thursday, and then I watched it from the beginning till about it started at 7 up here, and I watched till about 8:30, just to see what they were going to do. And every time they took a pick, I thought, come on, get somebody good. There's so much out there. And they picked some no-name. I just...
Who?
That, the one that I liked was that running back that they took. That,
Quinshawn.
yeah.
Quinshawn.
I thought, but that Mason kid, I don't know.
Yeah, he's a stud.
Yeah, they had so much other stuff that they needed.
Well, they needed
They blew the first 2 picks. They just might as well have not even had them.
They need so much until it's ridiculous, though.
Well, they needed
wish they
somebody at linebacker, though, because Joker is not going to probably not be back because of that neck injury.
Now, I wish they would have taken both Henderson and Quinshawn, though. And then I would have been, okay. But I get, but they need, man, they need so much. They just need so much, man. They're awful. Man.
They're in a rebuild mode, really, and I like the pick, the Booker kid. For Cleveland. Oh, for Cleveland. Yeah, Mason Graham. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I jumped right over there. For some reason, I was looking at him last. But Mason Graham, you know what? I like him. And I think he is something that they need. Which is a run stopper. And because we are seeing a reemergence of the run game again in the league, because it went well. It went to the other side for a while as a pass happy league, and now we're seeing the running backs are, reemerging. Yeah. So I think it was a good move. And if you got somebody that can get after a quarterback, that, a secondary sometimes is, if you have pass rushers, especially edge rushers and pass rushers anyway, but if you have that, that's going to help out your defensive secondary, because it's only so long you can cover these guys, and these receivers nowadays are bigger than ever, and things like that as well. So I like it. It wasn't what I thought they would do. And as far as quarterbacks go, early on, I just, I don't really see the great quarterbacks out there.
You just have to, if you think about this in another aspect as far as the quarterback situation, are you happy with Pickett? Who else did I got?
Well, if you look at next
Pickett,
year,
Flacco, and then that kid they drafted in the third round?
No, not even almost.
No, thank you.
I don't know what that kid.
no,
I'll just be honest. I don't see Cleveland winning more than.
no.
I thought he was decent, but I don't know.
He's a Tua clone.
And that's the thing of it is that now with these quarterbacks, we're seeing these kids that can. I think definitely. Well, you do need a kind of a dual threat quarterback now. But
And they had that chance with that number 2 pick, Gordon. That's the whole thing. That kid that they were going to take he's going to really go well in Jacksonville. He really is. And the what they did, they trade down to number 5, where they could have had somebody else good, Trevon Henderson even. And they blew the damn pick. That's all there was to it.
There's no INT with one player, alone. So.
well, I hear what you're saying, Pat. The Trevon Henderson, but I'm looking at needs, and you're right. As far as quarterback goes for Cleveland, I don't know what their game plan is, and I think salary maybe has a lot to do with what they can do. But also in that, but we talking about draft.
Yeah.
So, that really shouldn't have mattered that much, So, yeah, it was they did some things, and the trading down I thought was ingenious to me. And then also in that, because what Cam Ward went first, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Travis Hunter. And Travis Hunter, I don't think there's a team out there that couldn't use a Travis Hunter, but I'm going to say this, and I'm going on record right now saying this. Travis Hunter is going in the league, and he is going to be a cover guy. Will he be a shutdown corner? We'll see. But he's going to be a cover guy. He's not going to be a two-way player in the NFL. That I think.
I don't think so either. They never do that.
They'll use him in special packages. They'll do that. Those little plays where they have him come in and he'll probably get some. Very very sparingly opportunities to play offense. But
I think he'll get a lot where he's based on where he went. You know why? Because he went to Jacksonville, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he went to Jacksonville, and Jacksonville's quarterback has been underperforming. But he's not been underperforming because he has no talent. He's been underperforming because he has no talent with him. And I'm looking for him. I think he's going to be a surprise to you. I think he's going to be a lot better than you think. Could he have went to a better team? Absolutely. But I do think that the opportunities is going to be in Jacksonville for you to get to see a lot of what he did in college. But now, will he play a whole game being a two-way player? No. But I think that you will see a lot of him because they have to explore what kind of talent this young man has. He demonstrated that in college, and he wasn't kind of successful. He was extremely successful.
I hear what you're saying, Nate. I hear what you're saying. But keep in mind this right here. It's a small percentage of those players that he played against in college will make it to the next level. And the competition is going to be much stiffer, first off.
Yeah.
And then also in this, there is no way in the NFL his body can take that grind of being a two-way player. Although, it may not be as physical, but you know what I do? when you have a player like Travis Hunter out there, because he's not a big kid, I'm going to throw some passes to some running backs, and we're going to run at him.
Well, that's the reason why I think he's going to play a lot more offense.
We're gonna run at this kid, and you know what?
That's the reason why he's going to play a lot more offense than you think, because he's not that big.
Okay, I hear what you're saying.
Freaky athletic, extraordinarily fast, got tremendous hands, and just great instincts. He's going to be a tremendous offensive force.
Keep in mind what you're saying. Keep in mind what you're saying. We may see something similar to what they did with Deion Sanders, but Deion Sanders was not an offensive player in the league. Now, and I say that to say this, because what happens is this: as an offensive coordinator, I got a big, strong running back. Man, I'm gonna run my running back at him. You tackle the Derrick Henry types. You tackle the Saquon Barkley types. You tackle these running backs that bring a load. This kid isn't 200 pounds, or maybe 200 pounds on a good day.
That's the reason why I don't think he's going to be on the defensive side.
You don't think he's going to be on the defensive side of the ball? Now,
I think that you will see him there some, but I think that you'll be more inclined to see him playing as a corner, as a pure corner, as opposed to, he's not going to be in the run game. He's going to be out there challenging these receivers. His instincts, he's going to be challenging the quarterback on the other side of the ball to be beyond accurate with that ball, because he's a heck of a talent. I mean, because when you throw the ball in the direction of a guy that's that talented with the instincts that he has, man, that's a 50-50 ball now. So you got to be extremely gifted. So imagine him playing against a team like Cleveland, playing against them. And imagine him covering, I don't even know what Cleveland has as a receiving core now.
Jerry Jeudy.
They're garbage. Worst team in the NFL, in my estimation. But we'll get there in a little bit. But imagine him with even though we like Flacco, okay, but Flacco's now a couple of years even removed from the last bit of success he had when he was at Cleveland. Okay, and he's like he's like, a gunslinger. Man, I'm going for it. He's launching that ball out there. They have an awful receiving core. I can imagine this dude, man, having like 5 interceptions against a bum team like Cleveland. And Cleveland is not the only bum team. There's other bum teams out there like that, but Cleveland happens to be one.
Now, I hear what you're saying. So what you're saying is he going to be offense or defense, first off?
I'm saying they're going to explore. And I think that we're going to get to see him. That's the reason why I think that we're going to get to see him start off with a lot of what he did at Colorado, but I don't think it's going to sustain. I agree with you because I think he's too small, but that's the reason why I think that he's going to be primarily on the offensive side of the ball. But I do think in certain situations, when you're playing against an untalented quarterback core with an empty receiving core, I think that you'll see him playing on the defensive side. If he is indeed that,
and once he gets to this next level, when he's playing against a Jerry Jeudy type receiver that Cleveland has, they're going to want him to play physical. You know why? Because he's undersized. Now, if he's on the defensive side of the ball, but if he plays offense, he's going to be a good receiver. But will he be especially there, will he wind up being one of the top receivers year after year? I don't see that happening. If he's a cover guy, I think he'll be much better as a cover guy. He could possibly be a shutdown corner. I think he can be that because we probably all agree that he is the most talented player coming out this year. Now, with that being said, because his instincts are just remarkable. He reminds me so much of Deion Sanders, but keep in mind, Deion Sanders, he couldn't keep that up. That man is as great a player as he was. He was a freakish he was really a great baseball player too. He really was. But my thing is this: is that just that grind of it? You'll see some of that, and I think they will use some of that. But I don't think you're gonna see much of him playing both sides of the ball. And I think it would not be to their advantage as a team to play him on both sides of the ball very much. You're going to have to figure out where you're going to put this kid. I'm going to rest with that.
Okay. Did you guys see the feel-good moment for Hurricane Ward, though?
I heard about it. I didn't see it.
Ward Newton blessed him with his number 1 jersey.
Oh, okay. Amen, man. And that is something else we can lead into. Of course, I do want to touch on the Cowboys and their draft pick, but and I felt like they did good.
Yeah, and they still have a chance. It's likely that they may wind up with Shador, right? They still have some picks.
Yeah, but you know what? And I'm gonna say this. That's where and we can go there too. But the whole Shador thing, if he doesn't get drafted, I think it's to his advantage. And this is why I say that. Then he can select a team to go try out for. And that way, if he didn't have to go to a horrible organization. Think about that, y'all. Why everybody's
if he doesn't get drafted, because they, according to what I've been reading here, is that he's still not off the team's draft boards. So for whatever reason, though, man, okay, we already know all of the stuff that was out there. They say he had horrible interviews, so it's not his talent. They just don't like the kid, which means that it's a sad thing that there's not a rival league that he could just go play in, because this is like the Mark Jackson thing, the way the NBA decide to ostracize Mark Jackson and just, kick him to the curb and say we won't even entertain, conversations from him. We don't want him no more. Or the Colin Kaepernick type thing, for different reasons, but it's the same type of a scenario. Because there's no way in green grass land that man ain't supposed to be drafted this late. Come on, man. He should have got drafted.
You know what?
Okay, we know.
And I say this. Look at Tom Brady, Brock Purdy, these guys that
different. They didn't have, these guys weren't top players. They weren't like the top, within the top 5 quarterbacks in the country, and actually arguably, based on his statistics and everything they had to deal with, the top 1 or 2 quarterbacks in the country coming up. They weren't like that at that time. They wound up, clearly Tom Brady wound up being a phenomenon. And actually, he was, oh my God, he's an extraordinarily anomaly, because even if he would have been the number 1 draft pick, he has exceeded any expectation that you could have ever put on Tom Brady. Coming out of, it wouldn't have mattered. If he came out the number 1 draft pick, no one would have thought. How many people think that quarterbacks are going to have the careers that Tom Brady had?
Yeah. Okay. All right. And I hear what you're saying.
So
now,
Brock Purdy, Brock Purdy again. No one expected anything from Brock Purdy.
Right.
Brock Purdy, doing okay. Yeah. So, but this kid.
Yeah. And I hear what you're saying. You make a good argument.
It's a little different.
This kid is reminding me of, what's the kid from Friday Night Lights, the star running back that got injured, and the father,
Well, my thing is this, with this right here. I got one other thing to say. Okay, let's look at the conference he played in.
It don't matter.
Yes, it does. It does.
It does in this respect. It does to some degree. But this guy, man, come on, we've been saying it. If you can, I'm gonna be honest, man. If you can play, you can play.
I agree.
And you have to look too. It'd have been different had he have had a great line and stuff like that. And you look at the conference he played. Man, if you go out there and you play, I don't care if you go play against a girls' team, and if you don't have a line in front of you, and you have to throw the ball, and you have to perform at the quarterback position, and you have no line, those girls are going to be getting to you. you're not going to be that success. Your chance of being successful is being challenged. So what I'm saying is, yes, it matters. Yes, we know. Yeah,
And
okay,
don't
that's an
get wrong.
overstatement, overreach. It matters where you play at, but come on, it wasn't like. I mean, it wasn't like that's like the oh man, they're awful, whatever. No, they're still a decent conference, and they turned the team around. On top of that, so
Yeah,
man, you have
yeah.
to. It's inexcusable, and then if you look and if you said okay, well, okay, it's because of that. Well, look at the people that got drafted, you know, before him. It's like so. No, they need to. There's nothing that they can really say. At least it came out that they don't like the kid. Okay, they don't like his personality. He didn't, kiss their butt and lick their feet and suck their toes or whatever, like they wanted him to do. And some of that, of course, is because he is a kid of privilege. Okay, his life is different.
Right.
It's like the Johnny Manziel story a little bit. Johnny Manziel had a few things going for him already,
Right.
so he didn't have to, whatever. But I don't think that Shador has the work ethic of a Johnny Manziel. I think that he truly wants to play the game.
Oh, I agree.
But
Agree.
but it is that element there is that when these kids come in and they really need that bag. Everybody needs some money, but I mean, they really need that bag. That's not quite the same scenario with Shador.
No,
Do
it's
he
not.
need his money?
It's
Need to find his way? Yeah, but
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
not the same situation.
It's not. And I agree with you. And Nate, I think that the kid belongs in the NFL. I definitely do. Now, but the thing about it is this. I'm just saying, yeah, let's let it ride. Let the chips fall where they may. And this kid goes, tries out, he makes the team, and when he gets his shot, he shines. The NFL overall, not that it doesn't matter to them, they're billionaires, but they look stupid if he does that.
Well,
if he
they don't even care if he
when he
does
gets
that,
an
but the
opportunity.
NFL doesn't care about things like that.
No, they don't. They
They're
don't. It
different.
doesn't matter because
Yeah,
because
they're different.
first and foremost, Nate, they're this. They're the only dog and pony show in town when it comes to football. You got these
Exactly.
leagues you create and all that, but they are the only dog and show pony, the only one in town. And when it comes down to it, between the sports, they are the big sport. They are the big sport. Baseball and basketball takes a back seat to the NFL.
I never thought I would agree with much that Donald Trump says. So Donald Trump says, "What's wrong with these owners? Are they stupid? How Shador Sanders, man? They've not picked Shador Sanders." I never, you never see yourself agreeing with much that he says. And hey, him saying that endorsement though, he may never get, he may never wind up on a team now.
Well,
Endorsement from him, but it's just funny that you know he said that.
he's
I was
gonna
like,
wind up in
wow.
the NFL. He's gonna wind up in the NFL, and I just want to see the kid get an opportunity. And at the same time, I think it helps him because what could happen is he could wind up with an organization like when it comes to quarterback, Chicago, or I'm gonna say it, Cleveland, and that would be a horrible, horrible place for that young man to be.
I don't care who goes to Cleveland. It's a horrible situation. Look, you put Tom Brady in his prime there right now, man. It's a horrible situation. Man, team is a. I'm. Look, y'all know last year I fell off the Cleveland bandwagon. I'm done, man. Cleveland is a dumpster fire, and this draft. I was the only thing they drafted that I liked was Quinshon. Y'all like the other guys. I don't. I don't see them getting help. I don't think
What
they're going to
about
be
that Hero
anything.
Finn in the tight end? He led all last year, the BCS and receptions and yards.
It was all right. It's not going to help Cleveland because Cleveland is an undisciplined organization from top to bottom. You watch how he performs in that environment. Look, man. Just look at it, man. Look at Miles Garrett. Look at the talent that they've had on that team. And in my estimation, man, even the guys that are look at Nick Chubb. No one really as talented as Nick Chubb was. I feel like Nick Chubb even underperformed in Cleveland. I know y'all saying, man, Nick Chubb was a beast. I feel like Cleveland is so undisciplined from top to bottom in the terms of the way in which they go at the process until they will never win anything, that football franchise. And look, if they win more than 5 games this season, man, it would be an accomplishment. They are awful. Period. Fire everybody, the whole organization. Get a tractor, mow the stadium over. Don't even keep the turf. Get rid of it. Throw it all in the lake. Trash.
And
Gordy,
you guys have
and
heard
let me
it from
top
a
it off.
fan. You guys have heard it from a fan. And fan is what? Fanatic.
I got my team, man.
You're right.
Washington.
You're right, man. Hey, man. And you know what? You were the dude denying Washington at one time.
No.
You were the
My
dude
issue,
that
I
was
had
denying
other issue with Washington. My issue wasn't with the talent or the ability. I didn't like the way Washington was managed. They fixed that. Cleveland needs to fix that.
You know,
Cleveland need to fix that.
Where's the horses
They need
at?
to fix.
Where's the horses at? And the bandwagon at?
man, boy, you're on and off the bandwagon. And you know what?
I can't roll with stupid.
If you're honest about it and really watch players, you're gonna see they did draft some studs.
Yeah,
Now,
they
they didn't get the sexy picks, as they say.
They drafted Quinshawn. Quinshawn is a beast. They drafted Quinshawn. He's a beast. But the thing is, Chubb is so messed up. So you need, that's the reason why I don't understand. How come you didn't take Travion Henderson and Quinshawn? Because Nick Chubb is through, basically. Okay, he's been too beat up. He's through, right? Okay, he's done. Okay, you need it because you needed those two, man. Because you're so soft everywhere else on the field till you needed those two. And you could have rolled those two, got you a few more pieces to bring in and really done some things. So I like the way they work together, and I just thought it would have been good. I would have felt a lot better about them. But when I look at them, it's hard for me to root for them because they look stupid to me.
Yeah, we'll see how that Schweizinger, our kid, does because he's going to be the replacement for Joker. JOK because of that nigga injury. And that Schweizinger or whatever that I don't know his actual last name.
I got a name for him. I mean, it starts with the B.
So, and you know what? So, with that, you being now a Washington fan, Commanders, I always forget the name now, but you being a Commanders fan, and I know how things went down last year, and how you tried to tell that the Eagles were going to not warrant that team, and the Eagles went on and won the Super Bowl.
Whatever.
And
well, the league is still negotiating whether or not they're gonna outlaw that dirty play.
Right.
What is this dude talking about?
But the butt shove.
Oh, the tush push?
The tush push.
Yeah, man. Illegal football play, man.
Can't stop it. So I guess you outlaw it. It's kind of like outlawing the, certain moves for matter of fact, that crossover initially, how they outlawed AI's crossover, the way they did it at first, and the whole deal with the zone for Shaq, and yeah, maybe they should do those things. You know,
I'm just saying they talking about it. I
I'm
mean,
just
I didn't,
saying.
I didn't. I mean, they're talking about it. They're still
But
considering it.
but as of right now, it's not a dirty play,
I mean, but they're still thinking about it though. It
and
still ain't too late.
and you know the thing about it is, I think other teams need to adopt that play and figure out how to do it.
Let me ask y'all this though. On the sport, seriously, I don't have a problem with it. I like it, but really, do we think would Philly have won? I'm not talking about against Washington. I'm just saying in general, would they have won the Super Bowl had it have not been for them to be able to, execute that play? If that play is deemed illegal and we wind back and start the season over, would they be crowned Super Bowl champs?
You know, I don't know because they would have come up with other. They would have had to do other things, you know, try other things, and I don't know, you know. But I did say this, and I saw it coming when when they got Saquon, that just really pushed them over the top, and their run game was off the chain because you need 2 yards. And them just pushing him off in there the way they do it, they were so good at it. So to me, he was the best short yardage back in the league. That made him the best short yardage back in the league.
Man, he the best back in the league.
No, I'm talking about Hurts.
Oh, you talking about Jalen Hurts because of the
made him the best short yardage back. No, Saquon's straight up home run hitter. He's a home run hitter, not a short yardage back. He's a home run hitter.
Man, I tell you what, I don't know what it is, how other teams haven't figured out. I mean, the film is out there. Can you not see how they do it so you can duplicate it? Because it is extremely unstoppable, man. I mean, you can count on it pretty much. I mean, it's going to happen.
That and the personnel of this. Keep in mind,
you got to have the personnel too.
His body. He has a very strong trunk too, as well. You know, I saw a deal with him and Hurts and Saquon. You know, doing squats, and it was remarkable. You know, these cats. You know, the amount of weight that they can squat. But you know, so with that being said, yeah, I don't know, Nate, but going back to the whole Sanders thing and that, and I look at this and him not being drafted, I think it's going to work in his favor. I just think it will, because some team is going to give him a shot. Let him walk on. You know what? Because this young man is going to go in there and he's going to show, given the opportunity, he's going to show what he can do. And yes, not take anything away from him by the conference he played in. And then it did help that he happened to have the best player on the team as his teammate in Travis Hunter. You know, that he is a good player, because one of the things that kid showed me is he can stand flat-footed in the pocket, so to speak. He can stand in the pocket and throw that ball under duress. You know, he can do that and make good throws. So with that being said, I think he's going to be, and I think he's going to be.
I just don't, you know, if it was a question, if they were questioning his talent, then you know, yeah, they're not even questioning his talent. They're talking about him as a person, you know, and man, that's hard to overcome.
It is, and I agree, because we look at some guys that they've drafted as people, as a person. Johnny Manziel, okay, Baker Mayfield, he had some growing up to do. There have been players that, you know, when they got there, they weren't really the best people in the world when they first got there, you know. So with that being said, I agree with you there, but keep in mind, you watch, man. If I was him, I'd chill. I wouldn't worry about it, because guess what? I'm going to get my opportunity and I'm going to show them.
I wish he could sue, and I wish he could sue and just go back to college, personally.
Well, you know what? And yes and no.
I mean,
I
you
much
know,
rather, I want to see him walk on at somewhere where he doesn't have to go into a team that is horrible, because as a early round, as a number one, number two, number three pick,
right? You're
probably going to a dumpster fire of a team, realistically. Because the
but if
worst
you go to a
teams,
good team, you're gonna go there. What are you gonna do? Go and go somewhere and sit behind. But you can't go. You can't afford to go and sit behind a quarterback right now, and the quarterback is 2 years older than you. I mean that's not a good recipe either. You know, because you figure there's a lot of good teams right now that's got really young quarterbacks. Imagine him go to Washington, walk on. They go there to be what, the backup forever to Jaden Daniels? I mean, because that's what it would be. Because there's not enough distance in age. So I'm like, where are you going to go
that's
walk
what I'm talking about too. Those are things that he can look at if he doesn't get drafted. He can go and try out for whomever he wants to try out for.
And then I'm like, I wouldn't go to Pittsburgh. If I'm him, I wouldn't go to Pittsburgh. I'm like, to go there. Pittsburgh, to me, man, you know, they're a tough-nosed team, but
Who?
it's something Pittsburgh. You know, because you know, that was one of the possible places. No, come on, man. We know they got. We know they're a tough-nosed team, but I wouldn't go there. You know, I hope he doesn't go to Pittsburgh. Cleveland.
We want him to go to Pittsburgh.
Who's that?
Huh?
We don't want him to go to Pittsburgh.
That's what I said. I hope he doesn't go to Pittsburgh. I know you trying to get Pat to play the thing. Pat missed the cue like 5 times.
He laying on the seat.
But I don't want him to go there. Where else? I mean, look at it. You got a lot of young quarterbacks right now.
But you know what? I'm gonna say this about Pittsburgh, and a lot of people, y'all may not agree with it, but I think Tomlin is one heck of a coach.
Yeah, I think he's a decent coach.
I think he is one heck of a coach.
Talking about Pittsburgh, though, the kind of a sad thing about that draft pick, though, they got that Harmon is, you know, his mother, right after Harmon got drafted, passed away.
That's jacked up, ain't it?
Wow,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Right as shortly after he got drafted.
Oh my God.
It's crazy.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, Pittsburgh! Pittsburgh sucks! Pittsburgh sucks! Pittsburgh sucks! Pittsburgh sucks!
I didn't want Gordon to go disappointed the rest of the day.
I was disappointed, man. I was upset with you.
Well, in that case.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, Pittsburgh! Pittsburgh sucks! Pittsburgh sucks! Pittsburgh sucks! Pittsburgh sucks!
Okay, I feel better now.
Okay, I'm glad.
So I didn't notice. I hadn't. This is what I didn't see yet because I was flipping back and forth. So Kyle McCord he didn't get drafted yet either, right?
No, I don't think so.
No.
And neither did Will.
Well, I don't know. And
It's just not a lot of quarterbacks, man. It's not a good time for quarterbacks to be honest.
Well, I'm going to say
The
something.
league is full.
When they were talking about Cleveland taking a quarterback in this draft, I did a lot of research on the ones that were out there, including Shador, that kid that was the second pick, and even down into the that kid from Ohio State. And in my opinion, there wasn't any of them that should have been above the 20th pick. You know, it doesn't surprise me that Shador's not getting picked because of two things. His old man's probably blew that chance for him. And secondly, he just he's a talented kid, but he's no Joe Montana, or he's no even when it comes down to it, he's not a Baker Mayfield. I don't think personally. I don't think that any of them really were that great to write home about. Will Howard, well, maybe he grew up a lot the last year he played, but
I like Shador better than Will Howard. It's not even close to me. But I agree. I just don't think this was a good year for quarterbacks.
I just don't think the talent was there. I just don't think the talent's there.
Yeah, it's questionable whether or not
you could have plugged him in there versus. I think he would have been really exciting to watch there. But I did watch some of the games that I got to watch some of the games, and I think he's a good player. I'm like Pat. I think he's a good player.
A lot of these.
But now, and when I say that, keep in mind this, guys. Again, every year on just about, we would see all these sports big heads go up here and say this quarterback is a can't miss, and that one's a can't miss. And as Pat said, he's no Joe Montana. But you know what, Pat? When's the last time we seen a Joe Montana? I mean,
yeah, that's true too.
Tom Brady's, and the closest thing that we've seen to those type of dudes is been Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I'll give you that one.
I like Jaden McDaniels.
And they missed on him. What was Pat? Third round pick?
No, the first round.
He was first round pick.
He was top 10.
He was top 10, but he was looked over by what, 9 teams? Well, some of them didn't.
You know what? I like Jaden McDaniels better than Patrick Mahomes. I'm just saying, I do. And I like Pat, but I like Jaden McDaniels better. And I'm not even saying Jaden's going to have the career that Pat has. I'm not saying that either.
Yeah.
I'm just saying for real, as a talent, I like Jaden McDaniels better.
You know what? You know what? I hear.
I'm just saying for me
as an athlete. I hear what you're saying as an athlete, but Pat just has that something about him that. Now Jaden McDaniels, he's still got some growing to do. We'll see what happens in time. But Pat has done it in a few years where he didn't have the best receiving core. Don't get me wrong, Travis Kelce is going to go down as one of the great of all times as far as receivers go. Tyreek Hill, he had Tyreek Hill for a while, and Tyreek Hill will not go down as one of the greatest wide receivers of all time.
Had he have stayed with Pat, he might have.
And the some of the receivers he's had, they won because of Pat. He just made plays.
And see, and this is what's remarkable. Washington did what they did because of Jaden, right? And that's why I like it. But I will say this: Pat had more to work with than Jaden has had to work.
At this point right now, no. You know what? Top to bottom, that Washington team is way more talented than KC.
I don't know. I don't agree with that. Not even almost.
Okay. Let's look at the receiving core, Nate.
Washington don't have a good receiving core. They got an okay.
Whoa, you mistaken.
No.
Washington.
No.
He said they don't have a good receiving core.
Terry McLaurin.
Is he lost his mind?
Okay, receiving core.
Okay. And then okay, look at it. Look at it. The ability to run the ball.
Okay.
Are they not better than KC at running the ball?
No.
Nate, boy, you're smoking something. Make that boy take a whiz quiz. If you had any hair on your head, I'd be plucking out one of your ears, man, to get it tested. Boy, nope. Nate, man, you're being ridiculous there.
No.
You are being ridiculous.
OKC's, man.
That
That's
receiving
OKC is
core,
a Super
tell
Bowl
me-
team, man. They have better talent, man.
Tell me which one of those
How many Pro Bowlers on that team?
had a better season than McClure on that KC team.
Who has
Sean, how many Pro Bowlers on OKC's team?
between Kansas
What?
City and
Maybe
Washington?
on the.
Let's look it up.
Are we talking about? And I don't know how many
Who
Pro
has
Bowlers they had.
a better receiving core than KC.
KC didn't have the last 2 years. They struggled. They struggled to score. They struggled to score. Kelsey was doing his thing, but they struggled to score. You got to think about it.
So they had
That team is talented over there in Washington.
man, it's Jaden McDaniels all the way, man. That's
Okay.
it.
Okay.
He carrying them.
Okay.
He's got a great quarterback. He's carrying them. That's a lottery team, boy. That's how they
Okay.
got him.
Okay.
How did they wind up with Jaden? How did they wind up with Jaden?
Commanders or
They
Kansas City.
they were
Chiefs.
already making moves before he got there.
Man, they were above. Gordy, come on,
Now,
man.
It just so
They were
happened.
above.
Don't get me wrong. It just so happened. First off, and two things happened. Okay, in the AFC least. Okay, there's only two good teams there now. It's them and Philly.
Say it again.
AFC East. Look at the other teams that's there.
Commanders versus Chiefs.
As you would say, dumpster fire.
KC had got 5 Pro Bowlers. How many Washington
Name
got?
them. Name them.
I'm looking at it. I just looked it up.
Name them. Name them. Give me the names. I'm just trying to see who they are.
Let me open it up here. Let me expand it.
Patrick Mahomes, who
2024.
you say Jaden McDaniels is better than.
I'm saying I said I like Jaden better than Patrick. I'm saying Patrick. I'm not saying Jaden's gonna have that kind of career because Patrick, he wound up in a great situation. I'm saying, he's probably not quite. That's a heck of a type of a career to have.
Patrick Mahomes, and he had to deal with Brady coming in.
Yeah, old man Grady.
Man, he went to man. You got to consider that he went to the Super Bowl, and he didn't have an offensive line that one year.
Let's see.
So, with that being said, don't get me wrong, and McDaniels, the thing that's going to stand in his way is going to be Philly.
Oh, no, it ain't really Philly. The refs.
He made that up, man. Man, I swear, if I was sitting next to you, I'd pull my hat off and hit you.
What are you talking about? What did I tell you before, man? When Philly got robbed? Excuse me. When
Philly got robbed,
Washington got robbed by Philly in the one game. But I'm saying they beat him in the beat him in the playoffs. But I was talking about the other game.
And let's face it. The one game, Hurts got knocked out the game.
Well, who knocked him out the game? What knocked him out?
That was a freakish play, but at the same time, had he
get knocked out,
had he not been hurt, they were gonna beat them, man.
Now, I want you to listen to what you said. That's like saying, had Washington have caught all the passes that was thrown to the receivers, they were not going to lose.
Okay, all right. Okay, yeah, and that would be like me saying, if Jalen Daniels, misses a game due to injury, they're probably going to lose it playing against a good opponent.
Right.
So it would be like me saying that too, wouldn't it?
No, But that's the whole point.
Wouldn't it?
That's the whole. That's the whole point.
I got you.
That's the whole point. That team. That's how good that one player is. That's what I'm saying. They got to have some more pieces. They get some more pieces, man. They're gonna
No. Wait a minute. If you put a guy in at quarterback who is not a good quarterback, you're probably gonna lose the game. Because why? The quarterback, every play on offense, the quarterback does what? The ball is in his hands. And don't get me wrong, yes, the dude is a difference maker.
Man, look at this though. Let me tell you how bad KC was. So in addition to the 5 players that made you that were Pro Bowlers, right? KC, man, was so awesome, Gordy, until they had additional 8 players named as alternates, man.
You know what? Cowboys had players that were Pro Bowlers this past year.
13 Pro Bowler caliber players.
No. They had 5.
Huh?
They had 5.
No, I'm saying they had
5.
That's 13 caliber Pro Bowl players.
They had 5.
So it says of course they all.
And you know what?
They have their sites. Let's say program said, but another say had say for years still say meaningful. Say.
And you know what?
All 13 of these to be recognized for their efforts this year. Man, that's what.
And when you say that, Nate, when you say that, tell me about those receivers there at KC.
They got decent. They grew up during the season. They had the, once the chemistry came along, once they got that chemistry, because they were, hey, look, Tyreek had jump ship and this, that, and the other. And, then you had player hurt for a little while. But once everything came back together, chemistry was on, they was on and popping. So I'm saying the team has got a lot of talent. That's all I'm saying.
Patrick Mahomes, like you said with Jalen McDaniel, Patrick Mahomes is that dude. Hey, he's the difference maker on that team. You had Travis Kelce, who still had a great season.
But get this though. Patrick Mahomes wasn't even a Pro Bowler. He was an alternate.
See,
that goes to show you.
Yeah. So that goes to show you right there that like I said, like you said, you know what? That team over there with Washington was so much more talented.
It goes to show you that Jaden McDaniels better than Patrick Mahomes.
Okay, all right. I hear you. I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. This is the same
Patrick Mahomes. No, Patrick Mahomes is a beast, man. We ain't fronting. Pat is a beast. We know he's a beast. Pat is a beast. But he did have a lot of talent.
This is the same dude that said Odell Beckham was one of the greatest receivers of all time.
So Pat was a doggone alternate, man.
Yeah.
Man, it's like, wow, man.
Yeah.
So like, God. That lets you know how talented that team is.
But that lets you know how good Pat is as a player, man. He wasn't even a Pro Bowl, and he still outplayed everybody.
That lets you know how good that team is.
He still outplayed everybody else. Now, and don't get me wrong. What's his name? They probably got Chris Jones in there as a Pro Bowler. And I don't think Chris Jones is all that. He's a good player.
Yeah.
Tell you what, guys, let's
TJ Watt.
We're gonna wrap this up.
Let's
with him because I'm ready to whoop him.
Yeah, you're
wow, man.
Let's switch gears for a minute. And what do you guys what are the Cavs going to do in the playoffs? We going all the way this year?
I think so.
I don't know. They're on a crash course with that Boston Celtics team.
Mm-hmm. And Celtics lost last night.
And Tatum didn't play, did he?
Yeah, he played. Yeah, he played a great game too.
He played a great game. He's been hurt, but And that team there, they just so deep. Is Porzingis back? Because Porzingis he took a lick.
Porzingis played too. Man, Orlando just is, man, that's a real team, man. Them boys, whew, them boys, man, can fight. Them boys can play. So, but they're not going to beat Dallas. I mean, Boston in a 7-game series. But
You don't think so?
no, I was saying Orlando is not going to beat Boston
okay.
in a 7-game series. So I'm expecting, to see Cleveland and Boston in the finals is what I'm expecting.
In the Eastern Conference Finals, I hear you. That's what I'm expecting to see in that. And it just depends on the guys like Pritchard and, what's that other kid, that young man that comes off the bench?
Hauser,
whatever his name is.
Man, them boys.
Man, those guys, they come off the bench usually and they don't miss.
Not against Orlando. Man, them boys playing defense like it looked like high school basketball, where they pressing, man, with them cats, man. Taking the ball when they can't hardly get it up, man. Can't get that thing across half court sometime, man.
And that's what I want to see. And because that's what you got to do to beat Boston. Because
they can ball. Here's the problem. Drew Holiday was out. That's what the problem is.
Mm.
So you don't have your primary, point guard and your primary on-ball defender, at the, start point. So he's out. So that's really what the issue is. So he's that big of a difference maker. And that's really what's going on.
I think Drew Holiday, but also in that, what's his name? What's the ball head dude? The one Shaq and them bullied into shaving his head.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he's playing good too. But, man, like I said, they match up, man. They defended them cats, man. They making them work, man. They making
do that for in a 7-game series. I'm taking Boston. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, but if man, I'm telling you, without Drew Holiday going up a team that can defend the way Orlando is defending, even though I'm expecting Boston to win, but if they lose, I wouldn't be shocked. After looking at that game, I would not be shocked.
So what is that series?
I wouldn't be shocked.
2-1.
I'm like, my goodness. So they need Drew Holiday back. I put it that way. If they don't get him back, they can make things tough.
Okay. One more thing. I know we talked about Cleveland. I think Cleveland. That's off. Was 2-1. It's 2-1. The series there, but Cleveland. I think they're going to handle their business now. That we'll see what happens next round for them. And as of right now, everybody's balling, contributing. But I'm going to have to ask you about the Lakers, man.
Yeah, that was a tough loss last night. Luka was he was sick, so he was playing with a stomach virus, and he didn't look good at all. Of course, LeBron picked up the slack. He dropped 38 on a very efficient night, extremely efficient. And the problem I had when the game was tied at 103, and Bron did that. He hit 3 clutch 3-pointers back to back, right? And it was tied up at 103. And then after that, man, the defensive wheels fell off the bus. It's it's a shame to me when you got a team and the 40-year-old guy is your best defender. That's just not a good recipe for winning. And then Austin Reeves, man, he's a different player in the playoffs, man. You can't count on him. His decision making just flakes me out, man. When you got a guy that's going, you got like LeBron had it. He got it going, really got it going. And I'm like, man, I don't need you trying to make a spectacular play all of a sudden, and then it don't pan out. And then you can't even almost defend anyone, and they come down and score. Okay, and then also you got the situation where somebody in the stands there had a whistle. So Rudy Gobert stole the ball, knocked the ball out of Doncic's hands at like about local area, and yeah, I forgot the player, that on Minnesota's team. Anyway, got the ball, ran down, and you heard a whistle. So Luka stopped playing because he thought the ref blew the whistle. The guy laid it in, So it was these kind of plays down the stretch, but there were several plays. Somebody had the whistle blowing, and it was messing up the game. But the referees didn't address it until it was like after that, these big plays that mattered in a couple minutes with the game when the game was tied, and then that kind of allowed things to kind of get loose. But just in general, they just don't have enough on the defensive end, man.
No, they don't. They
don't have any kind of. It's a shame. I mean, Jackson, he can't stay on the court, man. He can't not get in foul trouble. I mean, dude, playing like between 5 and 8 minutes for a whole game because he can't stay out of foul trouble, and he's your big guy. And Timberwolves is a very big team, and so they just, man, they getting handled. And Ant-Man looking like Kobe. I ain't gonna say Jordan because Kobe had a better handle than Jordan. But and they look very similar, the way they would take flight. And then man, he's an exciting player to watch play, and particularly when your team is knocking down, because Jaden McDaniels was the leading scorer for Minnesota last night with 30. And man, they had the floor. They were able to spread that floor. And man, Ant-Man, when he go to the bucket, dude, just so exciting, man. He got such good handles, man, and such an athlete. Yeah.
He got one on Luka. I remember when he dunked on Gafford last year, and they took the air out that. I remember, man. But he talked
that on Luka. I mean,
but I will say this:
Luka,
he talked that noise about, I'm gonna take Kyrie, and what did Kyrie do to Ant-Man?
Kyrie tore his butt up. Yeah, see, he can't forget that. Yeah, Kyrie's like, oh, okay, you want to say, but see, Kyrie's a different breed. Well, Luka's that same breed too. Luka like, okay, fine, well let's do this. But Luka wasn't. Luka, you could clearly see that he was struggling yesterday, right? Mm-hmm. So he didn't have a good game, and you can't afford to have. If you can't play defense, you can't be bad on offense. True. That's not going to work.
Yeah. And that's the reason why Lakers aren't going anywhere this year, because
they're not going nowhere.
Because they're defense. Come on, man, let's face it, defensively they're not that. Really
I don't think they're going to get out this series. Because you can't defend. I mean, literally, it's not even close. Your best defender on the team is LeBron, which is the reason why typically lately offensively he's not really scoring, because he's got to
focus on the defensive end.
You got to focus on the defensive end. So he tries to let Austin and Luka do the scoring. Well, the problem is Luka was sick. Austin is so freaking inconsistent, man.
Yeah.
Very frustrating to me. I like that player, but he frustrated me yesterday.
You know what? This is the best thing that can happen for Miko in Dallas, the GM for the Dallas Mavericks, because of the trade. This is the best thing that can happen for him, because if not, man, if Lakers would mess around and win and go to the finals, man, we will liable to find Miko hung out there.
Strung up somewhere else. But you know what's crazy, man? They blaming him. He didn't make the decision totally by himself. They were on board with it, man.
Yeah, they were on board with it. They were.
Right.
They were. Jay
Like-
Kidd tried to act like he didn't know nothing about it. Come on, man.
Yeah, they're gonna use him as a scapegoat, man. Like he the only one.
But
Like,
I'm gonna say this. It was something between him and Miko that wasn't meshed. That's more than anything. So one being a peeing contest, and
but I will say this: the Dallas team that Luka was on last year was far better than this Lakers team. And what I mean by that is that them two bigs, man, that he was rocking with last year,
oh yeah,
man, they could finish. He made them cats look like superstars.
yes, he did.
Jackson Hayes and these bums that they got up here. And why in the world did they even bother to throw in the dust? His game is so ragged. He's like a piece of dust on fabric. Your boy that they threw in on the Luka trade, forgot his name, Kleber, right? I'm like, man, why don't they send this guy
I tried to tell
back
you
down
about
there?
him. I tried to tell you.
He's not. They're not even playing him. I think he's hurt or something.
Mm-hmm. I tried
But
to
he
tell
would be better than
not that dude.
And then look how stupid the Lakers are. The Lakers not drafted, but they went out and they signed. Oh God, I forgot the other big's name. Start with an L. Oh my God, how'd I forget his name? What's his name, Sean? Man, the center that they signed, the Lakers signed, the one that's unplayable now.
Mm-hmm.
But they signed him to be the starter over Jackson Hayes, and they tried to put him, and they discovered quick, man, he's horrendous. So they wasted money, wasted a contract. As they signed him, once the young man from Charlotte's physical didn't work out, they signed that guy.
Yeah.
But man, they're just too small, man, because LeBron is not the athlete that he used to be anymore. So he really. He's only going to do but so much trying to guard bigs down in the post now. And he's not the savvy down in the post of a Draymond Green that can just contend with all these big guys.
Mm-hmm.
He's not that. And so they don't really have any bigs. They don't have any bigs, man. And they're suffering. You have no rim protection at all, and you have no on-ball defender at all. So they don't have any chance of winning. Because at one time I was thinking that there's a possibility that we might get to see Cleveland and Los Angeles in the finals. Ain't gonna happen.
Looking like Oklahoma City right now. It's a tough team to beat right now.
Yeah, it'd be cool to see to see us playing against LeBron for the championship.
I would have loved to see.
That'd be kind of neat.
I think it's going to be another LA team that has a chance too.
Yeah.
Of course. As Kawhi.
Yeah, because they're about to send Denver home. Yeah, they're looking good, man. Yeah, because they got that tenacity and toughness to play. But I do think that Los Angeles, they match up very well against OKC for whatever reason. And I think if they were able to get to the finals, that's the reason why I could see Los Angeles beating OKC, but I would not see them beating Cleveland.
Yeah.
Actually, I could see them getting swept by Cleveland.
That'd be terrible.
But I think they could beat OKC. I think they match up good against.
That'd be terrible.
But it still would be nice though to see it. Kind of would be. It would be cool. Actually, the place where he gave him a championship. Now he's gonna give him another one. So it would be kind of good to see. It would be good to see. I would like to see it.
Yep.
But
well, I think we probably can bring this to a close here, unless there's something else. We're getting close to 12:30 years.
Yep.
As far as, did you want to cover anything about the Dallas picks, Gordon? I know you said something earlier. What do you want to
The
do?
only thing we had really was because they got another offensive lineman, which that's not really an exciting pick any time around, but it's a very needed pick, and I thought it was a good pick. I think they got a good player in that Booker kid. I think it's Booker, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, from
right?
Yeah, I think that was a good pick.
Yeah.
And it's something that they definitely need because that offensive line has been horrible.
He's got some meanness to it because one of the things he said off the hook I've heard, he's like, when I play against somebody, I'll make them think they're not going to play football again.
Yeah. So as an offensive lineman, you want someone like that. He's athletic, and he's, I guess, for lack of a better term, nasty as an offensive player.
Yeah.
He's very aggressive offensive player. So we'll see what happens. So that's 3 years in a row. First round, they drafted offensive lineman
With the name of Tyler.
And that's crazy too.
Yeah.
His name is Tyler, but I think that pick, I didn't really watch much after that.
Their second round pick that they picked up from Boston College might be a potential Pro Bowler, I think. And that's Ezra-Ranku or whatever, the defensive end.
Okay.
Because he led the nation in sacks last year.
So we'll see what happens there. I mean, folks were saying, get a receiver or which they can use another receiver, but I think they'll pick up one in free agency. And running backs, it didn't matter because we couldn't run the ball. We couldn't, offensive line was horrible. Some of the injuries that we suffered on the defensive side of the ball were really bad. So for what was out there available, I was happy with Dallas's picks.
So they need a running back, though.
Yeah, they do need a running back.
Where did Njoku go to again? I forgot.
Njoku.
Where did Ohio State's wide receiver go to?
Abuka?
Abuka.
Yeah, Abuka.
He went to Tampa Bay.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. And that's the reason why when I saw it, I was like, oh my goodness. Man, Baker Mayfield, man. This dude, man, he just continues, man, to get under my skin. First, he was a bum in Cleveland. He leaves, eventually winds up being a really good quarterback. Now he's going to get a really good wide receiver, and he's going to be even more of a really good quarterback.
But he's always going to be Baker. I don't care. He's always going to be Baker. You can depend on him in a pinch about as much as you can plan on the Pope still being alive.
And a good receiving core.
Yeah, he's already got a good receiving core, so they're going to be good.
I mean, but he's got a great receiving core now with that. And I'm like, they're going to be a really good team.
Yeah, they experienced injury last year.
Edwards.
Anyway, let's go ahead and wrap this up. We will not be back next week. That's May 3rd. I've got a VE testing session that we're doing in the morning, so that takes place at 10 o'clock. There's no way I'll be done by 11. So we'll be back in 2 weeks, hopefully with a lot more news about the draft and everything that's starting to take place. Free agency, when does that start? Or has that already started?
It's already started.
I think it'll be interesting to see. Now that the draft is almost over with, it's going to be interesting to see what else is picked up from where. But anyway, y'all have a blessed afternoon. And Nate, thanks for coming in. Gordon, Shawn.
Yeah.
It's always fun.
Pretty good show. I have to educate my brother every week on these sports because he gets far out there.
Don't hate on the Commanders, man. We just got to keep I need to write a letter to the league office, man, get them to clean up their officiating when it comes to the Commanders, man.
Come to the Commanders. They should get
stop robbing us.
They should get some special privileges.
No, man, just need to stop robbing us.
But we're going to leave that for another show.
We want the favors that Philly get and stuff like that's what we want.
Man, I do too. I want to see Cowboys and the Browns in the Super Bowl. That's the favorite I want.
Man, please. Be the doggone. Oh my
You're
God!
right
What
to
did
tell
you
them
do?
what we want.
And neither team will probably score, man. I mean,
That's what.
you get a recliner, man, at the doggone, goalpost, man, and set them in it. And I don't believe they can hold on to the ball down there. I'm like, man, that was in the Cowboys.
After 9 quarters, it's still
Cowboys
0-0.
It's in a tie.
Yeah.
Hey.
Doggone.
All right, you guys, we will catch everybody next week or in 2 weeks. And remember, no matter what happens,
Pittsburgh sucks. Pittsburgh sucks. Pittsburgh sucks. Pittsburgh sucks.
I figured I'd give Gordon that one last time here.
Yeah.
All right. We out, man. Guys, I gotta get out of here, man.
And as
We
always,
got to figure out when the schedule come out too. It would be cool if we could somehow make one of those games, man. That would be cool. If we could make one of the games, either the either Dallas and the Cleveland game, or Dallas and the Washington game, or
that'd be neat. Anyway,
Cleveland and the Washington game, or something. It would be cool. We could make one of the games. That'd be cool, man.
anyway, let's wrap it up. Thanks, everybody, and 73. This has been a Crooked River Media production. All right, we're clear.
All right.
And today is Jesus Palm Day.
What do you do, man?